ka bartan when it's being made, they give it a shape. So that's how it goes. And so it is development is also influenced by historical conditions. We all understand people who have been affected by COVID as a kind of a historical time period and a kind of a disaster, natural disaster which occurred, a kind of uh, experience that people will not forget through a lifetime. And people who have experienced the freedom struggle will have a different experience than those who have not really faced it. So, three broad stages we can say define, divide child development into early childhood, middle childhood, and adolescence. And early childhood would be from birth to 8 years, and mostly during the first year we see remarkable growth, and the newborn seems to be helpless. Okay, volume is very low. Can we help? Um, you'll have to check with your internet and clear. Okay, some of you feel it's clear, right? Okay, if it's clear, I'm not too sure how to help you because I'm also learning technology with all of you. I tried my best. I put the yes, all right. So we're talking about the first year and functioning most of the time during the first year. There is a lot of socio-emotional development, a lot of attachment with the uh, significant others and the figures who are important in the newborn's life and the caregivers also. A lot of personality factors and traits are being determined at this point of time. So you cannot really ignore this phase and from 0 to 12 months. The gross motor skills, visual motor skills, language, social adaptive skills, they all start developing. And if they are able to grasp, they are able to sit, at least hold their head slightly. And we have all seen these changes that occur. By 3 years, a child also again gets good height and weight and starts mastering a lot of activities related to play and scribbling and using the spoon and the fork. So the infants are not really helpless, and most of the time these reflexes are very strong, and they have a good hearing sense and taste, pain, touch. They experience all of these, and vision fully develops around 3 months of age. Uh, and the baby can also differentiate between the smell of the mother and some other person around in the same place. So that's how the reflex actions and the sense organs are very strong working during these years. So in the preschool years, the child is growing rapidly, beginning to develop fine motor skills with the gross motor skills also, and physical growth flows and body proportions also becomes more refined. So most of these aspects you will find in from your own experiences also. And attachment is very important. You must have noticed, children in the pre-nursery, they try to cuddle, they want to hug the teacher, they want that affection and attachment from the teacher. ओके आपको हिंदी में भी सुनना है राइट 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 एक्चुअली यस तो हमें ये देखना है कि लैंग्वेज डेवलपमेंट कैसे होती है इट इज ऑल कोडेड इन आवर जीन्स आल्सो द नेचर एंड द नर्चर हमारा हेरिडिटी और एनवायरनमेंट हमारे जो हम अपने पैर माता पिता से और पुरखों से लेते हैं वो जीन्स भी इम्पोर्टेंट हैं और हमारे इन्वायरमेंट में क्या होता है हम उसको इमिटेट करते हैं उसको हम लर्न करते हैं वहां से देख देख कर तो आई language, and whatever language the parents speak, children will naturally learn that language. So it's very important that most of us Indians are able to learn English as well as Hindi, very your our own regional languages also, be it Tamil or Punjabi or whatever language, Bengali, whatever we are speaking. So the types of play that children generally get involved in are unoccupied, solitary, onlooker, parallel, associated, cooperative. And parallel play would be when children are playing adjacent to each other, but they do not influence each other's behavior. So most of the time they are playing alone, and they do try to gaze around at as to what the other child is doing, but they don't get involved in that interaction. They do not play together. So this is when they are aged 2 to 3 years old, and they are not really social beings during that time. And pretend play would be when we pretend to be doctors or to be cooks or to be homemakers, to be a teacher, and we all have plays in our lifetime. We all become teachers, we've all become directors, we've had plays, we've done a lot of pretend plays, doctor sets, and there are toys also with regards to this. Lot of toys available also. So it also provides the child to explore the options and to try to solve a lot of problems that they are facing. So why do we why do we want to talk about stages? Because we need to understand that each stage helps us in covering up a particular milestone. So, like for this child called Mona, she refused to speak, and hypothetically, name might taken, and any all the other classmates in her daycare are talking, and they're just there, and she's just sitting and listening. And the mother is concerned. She will be, because all the children are speaking, but her daughter Mona is not able to speak, and she's trying to figure out whether it's a speech problem or is it some physiological issue, biological issue involved in it. And one day, then she, Mona observed something of merit, something that she likes, and she just starts speaking and she hasn't stopped. So this is an example of delayed speech, and this can happen in any of our classrooms. Children are absolutely quiet. It doesn't mean that other modalities are not functional. Other sense modalities may be functional, are functional, and the intellect level may be quite high. So we can't say, okay, if the child is not speaking, the child is also not learning. We have to understand these psychological connotations with it. And learning to speak is also a milestone, babbling, gasping, rolling, maintaining eye contact, toilet training. All these are milestones which children will be able to reach at a particular age. And most of the time, we have a progress chart arranged where pediatricians, psychologists, researchers, they monitor child development. And most of the time, you must have seen that parents are observing this for the first 1 or 2 years, and then it's just left. And the psychological milestones are also important to be understood at each stage of development, because each child is unique and each child will learn different. So we need to give that uh, kind of concern to everyone around us. So I would like you all to please prepare a cup of cold coffee. Have you all prepared cold coffee? How many of you have had cold coffee? Yes, okay. So to prepare cold coffee? You can write in the chat box. Yes. Okay, we have to. So I tell you how to prepare cold coffee. Okay? Because what happens is when we are going to school, most of the time we are in a hurry, so we make our coffee hot and we try to uh, be there and we carry it with us to school. And the moment we reach school, we are really exhausted because just the assembly has started and we um, just understand that, oh, okay, I'll have it later and I just leave it on the table. The class has started. So what happens is that we leave that coffee and it's there, it's just there to be had at maybe around 11 or 12, and that coffee is now cold coffee for us. So I would request you to now just log on to menti.com. Yes, I just shared menti.com and fill in the code 48. Please do not leave this meeting. You have to log in to a separate tab, or if another device you have, please do not leave this meeting. Yes, I'm specifically code is yes. And you can see the code on the screen also. Yes. So is it clear? Yes. So can you see the screen, everyone? And we started getting responses. Yes, stage, early childhood, yes, early learning years, wonderful, primary, yes. So this is the thought, from birth, because see, we all understand it's the best stage of development. So what is our contribution in making it even better, better than the best? Yes, for our children. Early ages, primary. Can you see your responses on the screen? Okay, I repeat, you need go to menti.com, menti.com, and use code 48009952. Is it visible to everyone? 1 to 8 years, early learning, adolescence, wonderful, wonderful. So you can keep trying this and yes. So we go on to the next slide. Each one of you feels that scale of 1 to 10, whether you strongly agree or disagree, on the left hand side is disagree, right hand side is agree. All right, Miss Mamta ma'am, I'm repeating. You are asking me to repeat? Yes. It's
Nutrition is slow
menti.com.
and
You can
messy.
see it on the screen also. menti.com. Yeah, and you can use the code 88009952. Great. So children are intentionally slow and messy. Look at this child
Written,
here. Is he doing it
written
intentionally?
cleanliness is important.
Would he get a good beating from his mother or the teacher?
Young kids have a hard time figuring out
Children
and
have
separating
no
background
feelings,
noises from
and
have a
most of
hard
you
time
are
figuring out and
disagreeing
separating background
exactly.
noises.
Learning in young children is
The
socially
idea of right and
mediated.
wrong are two concepts that a child does not
Yes,
understand.
the society
Two
does
concepts one
have
does
an
not
impact.
understand.
Pretend play and imagination are important for
Statement
cognitive
8
development.
children develop their language skills in 4 distinct
Yes,
stages.
young kids have a hard time figuring out and separating background
8
noises
children
from
develop their language skills.
the other voices that are there. They can't really figure out, they'll have two, three sounds and they won't know which to attend. There's the television, there's the internet, there's the house girl working, there's mother talking, and they won't really, because they find it very hard to separate those sounds. And the idea of right and wrong are two concepts that the child does not understand. Is it true or false? Please check for yourself. Yes. Children develop their language skills in four distinct stages. So please fill in all of these and we can see your responses on the screen. Really performed well, I must say. Worth and applause. So now we go back to the PPT. Is the PPT visible now? Is the PPT visible? I just wanted to know. Okay, I just shared it. I just see where it is from. So this is what we were trying to do. I hope it's visible now. The PPT is visible now. So this is what we did just now. And you have the code. You can keep trying and you'll be able to see your responses. So what are the areas of development? Is this better now? Right. Just a moment. I just drag the chat box and the entire screen is being hidden. So I just okay. There's a little distraction. If everyone is everyone on mute, okay. areas of development, mostly into four categories we can divide them: physical, emotional, mental, and social. And they are all linked and they occur simultaneously. So emotional would be your feelings, whether you are happy, sad, laugh, and most of the time, when children are happy, they learn the most. So that's why we also have a happiness curriculum and we have separate workshops for happiness curriculum also. And mental or cognitive skills include thinking, learning, understanding, problem solving, reasoning, etc. The social skills would be the personal interaction and is the child withdrawing and get togethers and parties, or is the child shy and not have stage fear, or sometimes children are very good in their thoughts, but they are not able to express themselves. So we have to understand that aspect as well also amongst the students. So physical, cognitive, and psychosocial development, all three of them are very, very important. This is the cognitive aspect and the psychosocial aspect, the interaction and the dependence on one another that we have. So we need to start thinking what is it that is our area of concern for our children, and what are the developmental milestones? Are our children able to accomplish specific tasks at a particular age? What is the
Alva,
average age of each
जेवले?
task? And sometimes a child will be able to learn a concept at
आपल्याला
age
काय
three,
करायचं?
at age
इशू
five,
करा ना लक्ष.
and the other child may be able to learn the same concept at age six. So
तो
that's
माझ्या
at a
लक्षात
higher
नाही.
class, but it's all
मा-
right as long
आजी
as we
माझं
know
मला
that
जेवढा
the
भात दिली
child is
त्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त
improving
दिली.
and
फिश खाल्लास?
is
नाही
का?
getting a
तुझ्याकडे
little
भाजी.
higher up on the cognitive and
माझीची बी.
emotional skills.
माझीची बी.
फोन
So
कुठे आहे
most
तुझा?
of the time the evaluation methods also that we develop are important, and we need to understand uh, what is the developmental quotient. So that's very important. And
हे बघ मम्मा पप्पा
we as
माझं झोपते.
stakeholders need to understand that it will take time for a child to be learning, but we have to reinforce that kind of
हो
learning with the child
हो
and initiate a lot of motor activities and hands-on training and skills which
ये
are
माझ्या
important
तुझ्या.
at younger age, for younger age children. Personality development is important.
मला ना मम्मा
Understanding
गोळ्यांची
of
रॅश
self
होती.
and others, and when they are writing an essay on myself. So the actual need of generating that understanding, what I want to be, what my
कोकम सोबत
self-esteem
पिलं
is, how
आता
confident
परत
am
एकदा
I, and am I scared, and let us be fearless, or let us talk about our fears. Because when everybody talks about their fears, they will realize that yes, it's okay to have fears. And I would talk to my students about my own fears, and they would come up with their fears. So it's okay to and be able to have them, and they can. It's just that they need to manage themselves also. So physical growth is very, very important. And for the physical growth, I think sports is really important. Swimming, running, playing, football, whatever, tennis, whatever they are playing. Even skipping for that matter. Nothing, just get on to skipping. So the school years and lot of different
खाली
developmental
उतरवतो.
stages have been explained, and we'll be going through the theories part also, where all the stages are being explained in a very effective manner, where we understand that the child is a priority and the child needs us, and we need to be empathetic. Child is also our mirror. That's very, very important. So, what are the theories that we have? Birth to 1.5 years. This is Freud's stages of psychosexual development. And Sigmund Freud was a psychologist who worked on a lot of case studies. And most of his theories are based on cases, individual case studies. divided the stages into these primarily five stages, and which had an everlasting impact on later
आजीने मग फिश
development of
तळून ठेवलं
personality
तुला
of
गार
a
खायला
person.
Tissue.
For Freud, the childhood years were very, very
आजी
crucial.
बसली
So from birth to first year was the oral stage, then the anal stage, phallic, latency, and genital. Oral stage was the stage where infant pleasure was uh, centered around the mouth, and things like feeding, thumb sucking, babbling, basically from 0 to 2 years. Most of the pleasure was derived from the mouth. The anal stage is when the child learns to respond to some of the demands of the society, uh, toilet training, bowel control, and where exactly uh, when the need for
आज कुठेला घुमी घुमी दाखवतो
excretion is there, where exactly to go and how to use the toilet. So that was the 2 to 3 years old child being trained for toilet training. Then we have the phallic stage, where the child learns the difference between males and females and is aware of sexuality and starts knowing, yes, I'm a girl, I'm a boy, and the roles also are being learned at this stage. The latency is when the child continues his or her own development, and the sexual urges are also initiated, but they are very quiet amount, which is around age 7 to 11 years. And then beyond 11 is the genital age, where the adolescent learns about maturity and sexual needs and urges, and so all those things are being understood. So most of the theories here are the theory of cognitive development, psychosexual development, psychosocial development, social learning theory, behavioral child development theory, attachment theory. We try to do a few of these to help you understand the importance of childhood years. So this is Erickson who explained the various stages of psychosocial development, not psychosexual. Freud gave the theory of psychosexual, and Erickson explained the stages of psychosocial development. So during from birth to 18 months during infancy, there's a lot of importance on trust and mistrust, whether the child will be fed or not fed, child will have to cry a lot to get the feed, and all that kind of autonomy versus shame and doubt. Early childhood years, 2 to 3 years, toilet training is happening. Okay? So is it the years, are these years where there's a lot of shame and doubt? Then there's initiative versus guilt in the preschool years, and there's a lot of exploration happening, and there's also a guilt of leaving the significant others behind and going ahead and doing whatever they want in the classroom. Then there's industry versus inferiority from 6 to 11 years. Some of the children do really well, the others are feeling inferior. Oh, how come that child knows so much? I don't know so much. Identity versus role confusion is that the adolescent years, where you don't know your identity, you don't know your role, and a lot of there's a lot of confusion and it's confounded about adolescent years, the changes that are happening at this point of time. Then intimacy versus isolation, young adulthood, lot of closeness and affection and intimacy is initiated here. Then middle adulthood, 40 to 60, 65 years, lot of stagnation and same routine that they are following, and almost the same life. Then maturity, that's ego intensity and despair. Despair about uh, leaving the world and dying and not being very happy and something. So these are the initial years, trust, happiness, trust. So most of the time, the central conflict during adolescence is integrity versus despair. So whether we will be successful or not in resolving the conflict, whether we are able to manage our anger or not, are we living with a lot of regret? All these are very important. So the next students we'll talk about is Bandura. Bandura social learning theory emphasizes the importance of observing, modeling and imitating. आप एक दूसरे से नकल करके सीखना, बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा ऐसे सीखते हैं एक दूसरे को देखकर, पेरेंट्स को देखकर, और बहुत सा ऐसा बिहेवियर है हमारा जो हम सिर्फ देख के और एनवायरमेंट में जो चल रहा है उसको देख देख के हम सीख लेते हैं और उसी के थ्रू हम आगे इंटरेक्शन अपना करते हैं. तो इन्होंने एक स्टडी किया था बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग विच इज कॉल्ड द बोबो डॉल एक्सपेरिमेंट. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग एक्सपेरिमेंट. एंड देयर वर थ्री कंडीशन. एक में तो उन्होंने ग्रुप ए को दिखाया कि एक मॉडल एक बच्चा है वो बड़ा अग्रेसिवली बिहेव कर रहा है उस वीडियो में बोबो डॉल के लिए. ये एक बोबो डॉल है और उसको मार रहा है. और दूसरे वीडियो में दिखाया कि वो नॉन एग्रेसिव है, बिल्कुल क्वाइट है, वो बोबो डॉल को मार नहीं रहा है, बस वो उसके साथ में खेल रहा है. और थर्ड में कोई भी ऐसा कंडीशन नहीं दिया था, जस्ट नॉर्मल ग्रुप था जहाँ पे वो बॉय बैठा हुआ. तो व्हाट वाज अंडरस्टूड, व्हाट वाज द आउटकम? कैन यू ऑल राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स कि कौन से बच्चों ने क्या लर्न किया? जिन्होंने देखा कि वो मार रहे हैं, अग्रेशन कर रहे हैं, उन्होंने क्या लर्न किया? और जिन्होंने देखा कि वो डॉल के साथ में सिर्फ सिंपली खेल रहे हैं, उन्होंने क्या लर्न किया? You can all write in the chat box the results that you think
Leggings.
Bandura would have concluded from this study. So most of the time the child watched that the video of
चार पाच
the
दिवस ना
ball which was bit aggressive
त्यांच्या गोळ्या
and वो किस तरह से उन्होंने learn किया.
मला काय उठले ते रॅश उठले
So
पित्त उठले
इनकी इस स्टडी में
कोकम तिथे नाही परत
ये काफी क्लियर हो गया है. चिल्ड्रन try to imitate and vicariously learn from the significant others and others. तो इसीलिए हम जैसा बिहेव कर रहे हैं, टीचर्स का बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या है, वो सब बच्चे आगे imitate जरूर करते हैं. फिर पैटरसन ने ये रिसर्च की है, बहुत ओल्ड स्टोरीज नहीं है. इन्होंने डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अग्रेसिव एंड एंटी सोशल बिहेवियर पे बात किया, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ अस हैव चिल्ड्रन जहाँ पे हम कहते हैं अरे बड़ी बिहेवियरल प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, और तो हमें वहाँ पे उनको स्टॉप करना है. Why? Because the study that Patterson conducted revealed that adult crime was mostly linked to antisocial behavior and disrupted parenting practices. Also deviant peer association, क्योंकि उनके आपस में दोस्तों के साथ में एसोसिएशन था, उससे उन्होंने लिंक दिखाया. तो वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट हमारे लिए है कि हम किस तरह से पेयर्स के बीच में अग्रेशन को कम करें, एंटी सोशल बिहेवियर को कम करें, पेरेंटिंग प्रैक्टिसेस को टीचर्स के साथ, पेरेंट्स के साथ में सेशन होल्ड करके और उनको हम एक्सप्लेन करें व्हाई पेरेंटिंग इज वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट एंड लीव्स एन एवरलास्टिंग इम्पैक्ट ऑन द चाइल्ड. तो मीडिया का भी बहुत इफेक्ट होता है चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट में. कुछ लोग कहते हैं हैज अ पॉजिटिव एज वेल एज अ नेगेटिव इफेक्ट. कुछ लोग कहते हैं वहाँ से बहुत गलत आदतें बच्चे सीख लेते हैं, वहाँ से अग्रेसिव बातें सीखी जाती हैं, सेक्सुअल इनिशिएटिव शुरू होता है, फीलिंग्स ऑफ और हैम्पर हो जाती है. और कुछ लोग का ये भी मानना है कि वहाँ से आप बहुत सी चीजें सीखते भी हैं, आप वर्ल्ड के बारे में जानते हैं, न्यूज के बारे में जानते हैं, तो आप पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट्स को भी समझते हैं. अगर आप टेलीविजन और मीडिया पे अच्छी बातें देखें तो इट इज ऑल्सो ऑन अस, आर वी एबल टू मॉनिटर इट फॉर आवर चिल्ड्रन और नॉट. It can also improve reading, it can improve typing. Some of the enhance vocabulary and general knowledge of a child. It can enhance eye or hand coordination. तो क्या इफेक्ट है? कुछ लोगों के लिए ये भी मानना है कि इट कैन हैव अ कैथार्टिक इफेक्ट, कि आपने अगर वायलेंस अग्रेशन देख लिया किसी पे तो अब आपको और नहीं चाहिए, तो यू विल नॉट इंडल्ज इन एनी मोर वायलेंस, एनी मोर, तो बिकॉज दैट हैज गिवन यू अ कैथार्टिक इफेक्ट। आपकी जो इमोशंस हैं वो दब गई है, सबलाइन हो गई। So that's a psychological perspective also. तो सोशल लर्निंग थ्योरी में भी आप ऑब्जर्वेशन से लर्न कर रहे हैं, और मेंटल स्टेट बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है एक चाइल्ड के लिए। नाउ वी कम टू Piaget's cognitive stages of development, एंड इसमें आप देखेंगे कि इन्होंने सेंसरी मोटर, प्री ऑपरेशनल, कॉन्क्रीट ऑपरेशनल और फॉर्मल ऑपरेशनल के बारे में बात किया है। और इन्होंने कहा है कि जैसे ही बच्चे इंटरैक्ट करते हैं, दे विल ऐड मोर नॉलेज, वो अपने आप से उसको अकोमोडेट करते हैं, एंड कंस्ट्रक्टिविस्टिक अप्रोच इसको उन्होंने से आपने कुछ बताया और उन्होंने उसमें ऐड किया। तो सेंसरी मोटर स्टेज में क्या होता है, जब उनके रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन, सेंसेशन बहुत ज्यादा एक्टिवली काम करते हैं, ये शुरू का बर्थ टू 2 years का प्री ऑपरेशनल में है, when the child starts representing the world with words and images, and symbolic thinking इसमें बहुत होती है, और बहुत सा आप सेंसरी इंफॉर्मेशन को फिजिकल एक्शन के साथ जोड़ सकते हैं। कॉन्क्रीट ऑपरेशन में आप लॉजिकली सोचते हैं, रैशनली सोचते हैं, और फॉर्मल ऑपरेशनल में एब्स्ट्रैक्ट भी सोच सकते हैं, जो चीजें सामने नहीं है उसके बारे में भी आप सोच सकते हैं, ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। तो आप देखेंगे ये सेंसरी मोटर स्टेज में हाथ पाँव और सेंसेशन से बहुत ज्यादा काम हो रहा है। फिर प्री ऑपरेशनल स्टेज में, सिंबॉलिक स्टेज में, ओके, अफेक्शन मदर और सिंबल्स क्या है, अफेक्शन वो समझा जाता है। कॉन्क्रीट ऑपरेशनल में रूल्स ऑफ कंजर्वेशन समझे जाते हैं, जो चीज है वो किस तरह से प्रेजेंट है। और फॉर्मल ऑपरेशनल में वो जो चीज आपके सामने नहीं भी है, ओनली थ्रू वर्ड्स आप उसको समझते हैं। तो आप इस एग्जाम्पल में देखिए, ये इन्फेंट है, ये अगर इनके सामने से बॉल हटा दिया गया है तो इनको the child doesn't really realize that the ball is there. So at least the ball has vanished, but there is a ball present. तो कंजर्वेशन क्या होता है कि जब हम समझते हैं कि अगर हमने 8 ml वाटर एक वाइट बोल में डाला और 8 ml वाटर एक टॉल ग्लास में डाल दिया, तो हमें एक में वो कम लग रहा है हाइट के हिसाब से और एक में ज्यादा लग रहा है। तो ज्यादातर क्या होता है कि बच्चे कहेंगे जिसमें कम नजर आ रहा है वो कम, बट ऑल्दो द अमाउंट इज द सेम, देयर इज सेम अमाउंट ऑफ वाटर इन बोथ द कंटेनर्स। So conservation occurs by 7 to 11 years, concrete operational stage. उससे पहले की स्टेजेस में कंजर्वेशन नहीं, प्री ऑपरेशनल स्टेज में तो बिल्कुल नहीं होता conservation। और क्लासिफिकेशन क्या होता है, जब वो उनको पता है कि अगर हम कहें फ्रूट्स में क्या क्लासिफाई होगा, ट्रीज में क्या क्लासिफाई होगा, कलर्स में क्या क्लासिफाई होगा, they can divide into categories also. And most of the time a 3-year-old is not capable of conservation. And conservation is the ability to recognize that measurable physical feature of objects which remains the same even when objects look different. Then reversibility क्या होता है, जब आपके फंक्शंस रिवर्स हो जाते हैं, वाटर कैन बी फ्रोजन, ब्रॉट बैक टू लिक्विड ऑल्सो, 2 + 3 is 5, 5 - 3 is 2। तो these are the cognitive skills क्योंकि रिवर्सिबल ये हमें पता होना चाहिए। और आइडेंटिटी क्या होता है, identity. If you cut a piece of cloth, it still remains a cloth. So the identity is the same, does not change, does not change from a cloth to a wire or something else. So that is what is very important. So these are the four stages that Piaget has explained. So impression, what water is, which beaker has more water, and which burgers are bigger and larger, and are they actually larger or not? So now let's go on to another study which is relevant for from the point of view of children because we believe an impact on the children. And this was conducted by Harlow and Harlow called the surrogate mother experiment. And although it was criticized later on, animal activists also criticized it to have it. Now, I don't think such a study should be conducted also. Harlow took infant monkeys from their biological mothers and gave them two inanimate surrogate mothers. One was a simple construction of wire and wood, the other was covered in rubber, foam, and soft cushion. So, and Harlow found that caregivers must provide contact comfort as well as warmth to encourage attachment. It's not just food. Food, obviously, they want. Food was being given to both the monkeys. So, this is how the setting was made. And if you can see the image, where do you think the baby monkey would like to be? With the wired monkey or with the cushioned one? In the chat box, if you could just write your answers, everyone. This is the cushioned monkey. Yes, I'm awaiting for responses in the chat box. Where do you think that the monkey will be? Okay. Yes, with the cushioned one or the wired one. If you can also state the reason. Yes, the cushioned one because it's also giving us contact comfort. That is the most important aspect. So there was a shift about how children develop and they do need a lot of love and attachment also. So we go on to adolescent phase where there's a lot of transition from childhood to adulthood, and there's identity and role confusion also. The dependence on family is there, but they want to reduce it. The growth hormones are working here, and the psychosocial development happening. They need to make a choice about their careers, what streams to go on to. Education part is gaining impetus, sexual development is taking place, and there's also a transition to be self sufficient, yes, to be independent, very important. So the body image here is very important, more self conscious, and they understand that they need to look good, they need to, uh, and most of the time they are also brand savvy also, and uh, the theory by James and Marcia, which is about the various stages, but I think we'll go on to the imaginary audience and personal fables, concepts related to adolescence. And imaginary audience reflects the thought that an adolescent has most of the time, that there are people who are just looking at me. I'm the center, at the center stage, so I need to look good. I need to be, everyone is focusing on me. There is an audience that's just focusing on me. And personal fableists telling stories about their own selves, keeping themselves as the center of attention and saying that they are important and they are invulnerable and others' problems or difficulties are not very important to them. So, this is about imaginary audience. And so, just for once, put it in your mind. So, children, the adolescent is not believing that he or she could be right or sorry wrong, and in that circumstance there is a lot of power struggle, and with the parents especially. Parents want to overpower, and the child, the adolescent wants to be independent. So we have to understand the developmental phase that's there. And so Rajat, this is a case study about Rajat. He felt he had to be good and get good grades, and everyone thought of him as a smart student, relied on him. So that's where it was important. And similarly, Neha also felt that she needed to act secure and she wanted to be the best in the class and always encourage herself. So these are the stories that they build about their own self. Another story about Sheena, when she thought that everybody's watching her and she wanted to be a perfectionist every time she went out, and she wanted to look the best all the time. And this is not really possible. So that's the thought about imaginary audience pursuing the adolescent. So I think with this thought, I would like to acknowledge all the
The
sites that I have
environmental
visited
factors
and
that
I've
shape development. Out of
tried
the
to gain
following,
all the
accept
information and knowledge for you all. And I would like to acknowledge the resources here, and any question and
imitation and
answers that
modeling
you
are
would ask. I'm here for you all.
medicines in focus.
And you can all here with me. You can share your experiences also. I think it's a well for everyone. Yes, anyone would like to share their experience here? I tell you the beauty of the childhood, young infancy and childhood stage. This child goes to a friend and says, "My mom is having a new baby." So the friend asks, "Why? What's wrong with the old one?" So that's how children are, and we need to understand their thoughts also. So, uh, is the chat open for everyone? Because I'm not able to see the. Has the link also been shared? And there's another poor people. The mother said, "No, I don't think so. Why? Why do you want to ask?" The child says that because the mother made such a fuss, the neighborhood mom made such a fuss when the baby swallowed a coin. So, any thoughts you'd all like to share? Can we unmute the participants, ma'am? Yes, correct age to determine. See, the age will not be one